I wanted to tell you this morning about making an Advent prayer garden. Last week I had somebody came to my blog because they were searching for an Advent prayer garden. I thought, well, that's interesting. I've never actually seen an Advent prayer garden, so I Googled it and went looking for one myself and discovered that nobody else seems to have heard of an Advent prayer garden either. And so it really got my mind thinking, and I thought, wow, an Advent prayer garden would be a wonderful alternative to some of the, an Advent wreath or some of the other things that we think of as traditional Christmas kind of ways of celebrating. And so I decided to create an Advent prayer garden. Now, I had an advantage in that I have a garden that sits on my desk all the time, and it's a cactus garden, probably a perfect kind of a choice for this type of garden. It's got a number of small plants in it, and these are all slow growing plants, and I've chosen them all because they've got different textures, they've got different colors, and just, at least to me, are very pleasing to the eye. So I would suggest getting a bowl. This is probably about 15 inches across. You might want something a bit smaller, you might want something a bit bigger, depending on your desires. As I said, cacti are perfect for something like this, but you might want to get some other kinds of small plants to plant in your garden. I just used ordinary potting soil and then just spread the small rocks over the top of it. And then I went out into my garden and I got some just ordinary stones, long skinny ones generally speaking, because I wanted to be able to write on them and then stand them up in my garden here. And I started with 4, choosing the usual theme for Advent: love, joy, hope, and peace. And then at retreat that we did on Saturday, as we were talking about Advent, we talked about the fact that American Thanksgiving is the week before the beginning of Advent. And we talked about the possibility, therefore, of starting Advent a week early with an extra theme, a theme on gratitude. So I have added gratitude or thankfulness as a 5th possibility in terms of this. So I just got some paint pens and painted this. As you can see, I am not an artist in terms of this, in terms of doing the lettering, but I had fun. Got different shaped rocks, and now I've just put them into my garden here, and it I know is going to be a wonderful focus for me over the next 5 weeks as I think about Advent and as I move towards Christmas. And it's possible that as I move towards Christmas that I'm going to add other things as well to this garden. So just a suggestion. I was talking to somebody about it yesterday and they said, oh yeah, and if you live in a warmer climate, you could develop a garden outside. And I thought, yeah, great. For my Southern Hemisphere friends or those that live in hot climates, think about a part of your garden that you might want to establish as an Advent garden this year, a place to go and to sit and to pray, or something to help focus your attention. And part of what I love about this is that it's not just something to look at, though that is important, but it is also, one of the things I find is that at different times I want to pick up one of the rocks and just bring it close and to think about the theme. And so, I think that we need experiences or ways to enter into the story of Advent and Christmas that really stimulates all of our senses. I think at some point I'm probably going to set up a candle in this. I don't know. There are all kinds of possibilities that I think you might want to consider as you grapple with the possibility of an Advent prayer garden. And if you want more ideas about Advent and Christmas, you might like to visit my blog at godspace/msa.com. Sorry, godspace-msa.com. So hope that you will enjoy your Advent and Christmas experience with your Advent prayer garden.